Have you ever sat alone and wondered, why does this keep happening to me? Why the same disappointments, the same mistakes, the same endings, just with different faces? You tell yourself it's fate, bad luck, wrong timing. The world changed, people changed, everything changed. But deep down, there's a quieter, more uncomfortable truth. What if it's not fate? What if it's your patterns? Most men never ask themselves this question, especially after decades of living, working, sacrificing and surviving. You've built a life. You've earned your scars. You've seen enough to believe you understand how the world works. But patterns don't care how old you are. They follow you quietly, patiently, repeating themselves until you finally see them. And here's the hardest part. Patterns feel normal. That's why they're so dangerous. Think about it. The man who keeps trusting the wrong people. He calls it betrayal. But he never notices how quickly he ignores warning signs. The man who always feels underappreciated. He calls it disrespect. But he never asks why he never speaks his truth until it's too late. The man who feels stuck year after year. He calls it circumstances. But he never questions the habits that keep him exactly where he is. It's easier to blame fate. Fate doesn't require change. Fate doesn't challenge your identity. Fate lets you stay comfortable. But patterns demand honesty. And honesty is uncomfortable. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. You start noticing, how you react the same way under pressure. How you avoid the same difficult conversations. How you retreat instead of confronting. How you settle instead of choosing differently. Then you realize it was never random. It was familiar. Your brain, well, it loves familiarity. Even when familiarity hurts you. Even when familiarity limits you. Why? Because familiar feels safe. If you grew up learning to stay silent, to keep the peace, you'll stay silent as a man, even when it costs you respect. If you learn to expect disappointment, you'll unconsciously choose situations that confirm it. If you learn to survive instead of thrive, survival becomes your comfort zone. This isn't weakness, it's conditioning. But conditioning is not destiny. Here's the truth most people never accept. Your life is not shaped by your intentions. It's shaped by your patterns. You may intend to live differently, to speak differently, to choose differently, but until you change the pattern, the outcome stays the same. Patterns are invisible scripts running in the background of your life. And the most powerful thing you can do is pause and observe them. Not judge, not shame yourself, just observe. Notice how you react when someone disrespects you. Do you withdraw? Do you explode? Or do you calmly stand your ground? Notice how you respond to opportunity. Do you hesitate? Do you assume it won't work? Do you talk yourself out of it before you begin? Notice how you handle loneliness. Do you isolate yourself further, or do you reach out? Your reactions reveal your patterns, and your patterns reveal your future, unless you interrupt them. Interrupting a pattern doesn't require perfection. It requires awareness. It starts with one moment where you choose differently, one moment where you speak instead of staying silent, One moment where you walk away instead of tolerating disrespect. One moment where you try instead of assuming failure. It feels unnatural at first, even uncomfortable. That's how you know you're breaking the pattern. Growth never feels familiar. Growth feels uncertain. Growth feels risky. But so does staying stuck. The difference is, one leads to freedom. The other leads to repetition. Many older men carry invisible patterns they've never questioned. Patterns built from survival, responsibility and sacrifice. You learn to endure, to provide, to keep going no matter what. But endurance alone doesn't create peace. Awareness does. You deserve more than just surviving your patterns. You deserve to understand them. Because once you understand them, you regain power. You stop feeling like life is happening to you. You start realizing you have influence over how it unfolds. Not through force, not through control, but through choice. Small choices, quiet choices, conscious choices. The choice to pause before reacting. The choice to question your assumptions. The choice to respond instead of repeating. This is how patterns lose their power. Not overnight, but gradually. And something incredible happens when you stop blaming fate. You stop feeling like a victim of your life. You start becoming a participant in it. You begin to see possibilities where you once saw limitations. You begin to feel calm where you once felt frustration. You begin to feel free where you once felt stuck. Not because the world changed, because you did. Your patterns were never your prison. They were your autopilot. And autopilot can be turned off, but only by awareness. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "This always happens to me," pause. Ask yourself one question. What am I repeating that I haven't noticed? That question alone can change everything. Because fate didn't write your future. Your patterns did. And you still have the power to write new ones.